Hey everybody, time for part two of your lesson this week. Part two, everybody. I'm excited because we're getting started on your final project. So we've just got, really from today, which is Monday the 27th, seniors have 1, 2, 3 more Mondays. For crying out loud. So we better hop to it. So normally in class, I would give you guys 3 class periods to work on this assignment, which is normally plenty. So since we technically have 2 class periods a week during this e-learning, I think you guys are going to find this pretty simple and not super time consuming. So your final project for class is you are creating your own business, and it's a food truck vendor business. So today, I'm going to go over the assignment as a whole, and then I'm going to talk about how we are going to kind of break it up as far as due dates go. That way, if some of you are like, I just want to get this done, I want to be able to check this class off my list, you can do that. You can work ahead. You can turn in everything. I'll get your due dates and everything set up in Schoology so you can just start turning stuff in. But I want to give you guys some examples and talk about each section. So, number one, your objective is you are starting a business. So you're going to research and select a vending cart. More on that in a moment. Products you will sell, food, non-food, etc. Create signage, calculate monthly bills. Remember, it's not free to just set up anywhere. Determine your COGS, which is cost of goods sold, which we did with KDET Coffee. Your prices, which we also have done with KDET Coffee. We're going to make hiring decisions, create a social media campaign using the 4 A's of social media to guide us, and finally creating promotions you will run, including a jingle for your new company. So obviously, you guys are going to use computers for this project. I should have taken that out for e-learning, but just kept it. You can either use PowerPoint or a Google Slides presentation. I'm going to recommend Google Slides for this one, and I'll tell you why. And you're going to have all your information actually in your Google Slides or your PowerPoint. You must include justification for each component. Don't just make something up to cross it off the sheet like, oh, I'm going to charge this. We want to know why you're charging that much. And below is what you have to include at a minimum, but add in anything else you see fit. So if you want to go above and beyond and add more things to your business, that's totally fine. So we have this broken up into 3 different sections. We have general concepts, pricing concepts, and promotional concepts. Now, the due dates are going to kind of follow that. So like this Friday, your general concepts are going to be due. Next Friday, pricing concepts. And then Friday the 15th, your promotional concepts will be due. I'm going to show you guys an example of kind of how I want you to turn these in during the due dates, and then what your final project should look like. So like for this Friday, for instance, when you turn in your general concepts, I don't know why I have that. Okay, here we go. I want to know the location of your vending operation. So, where are you going to sell it? Is it going to be inside the mall? Is it going to be at a sporting event? Downtown? Is it going to be on a beach somewhere? I want to know the location. Number 2, determine your specific hours of operation and make a sign showing this. So, what time are you going to be open? When can we come see you? 3, what are you going to sell? Just an overview. What are you going to sell? This is where you can get creative. Is this a food stand? Is it a food and tattoo stand where you're going to sell crepes? You can sell whatever you want as long as it's school appropriate. Okay. So for general concepts, what I'm looking for you guys to turn in on Friday is pretty simple. So what I have here is I just started my Google Slides and I just made it super, super simple. Right off the bat. My general concepts, I'm going to have a hot dog stand called Springs Eats with a Z. Guys, I picked the most boring thing to sell ever. Don't pick the most boring thing. Pick something you love. Pick something that's exciting. Just giving you an example. I'm going to sell it in downtown Colorado Springs near the new downtown stadium. That's where I'm going to sell. I'm going to be open up 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then I'm going to offer other things like chips, soda, water bottles, and of course, merch like t-shirts with a Z, hats with a Z. I know you'll love it. I made my sign right here of how I'm going to communicate that. My general concepts are done. Now, when you go back to turn in your final project, so your final project is going to be due May 22nd, you're not going to just leave it like this, your general concepts. You're going to go in and you're going to add some pizzazz, right? So you might add in some graphics. You might add in all this other information that's really important to it. You're not going to just leave it as this really boring concept page, you're going to go back in and you're going to add maybe multiple slides to communicate this stuff. So this is just to get your rough draft, right? To get your points on Friday for doing your work this week. Same thing when you do pricing concepts, you're going to kind of make it really rough. Then you're going to go back and make it really beautiful at the end. Okay. Going back to our requirements. So that was your general concepts. Next is your pricing concept. So if you guys don't remember this, we did this with Kate at Coffee back. When we were doing our Kate at Coffee unit pricing, where we said, okay, here's how much it costs for a gallon of milk. We put 5 ounces into a frap. We put this amount of frap base, 2 pumps of chocolate sauce. How much does it actually cost us to make a strawberries and cream frap? We actually broke it down. Okay. I'm not asking you to get as specific, but I want you guys to show me you have some general ideas about pricing, that you understand that it's not just determining a price right off the bat. You actually have to determine some cost. So the first bullet point is the part that I get the most questions about. So unless you have thousands of dollars at your disposal right now, which I'm assuming you don't, you're probably going to have to take out a loan to pay for your actual cart. So I just pulled up some information on the internet as far as my hot dog stand for Springs Eats with a Z, the stand, the umbrella, and then the cooler. I wanted a really fancy cooler, and then I had to have the grill. And an overall estimate of all of that was going to be $15,000. So we need to take into account that I've got to pay that every single month, right? That's a part of owning a business. So what I'm asking for you guys to do in number 1 is I'm asking you to calculate what that payment would be each month with interest. So number 1, I've given you the calculation for interest. Interest is principal times rate times time, meaning it's not just free to borrow money. They charge you, right? You have to pay back extra on top of your principal. So, next, I've given you the equation for payment, which is principal plus interest divided by 24, because we're doing this over 24 months. So I've given you guys an example. So if I find a food cart and a cooler for my business for $15,000, here's how I would calculate the payment. 15,000 times 0.08, because that's the interest, that's percent, times 2 years, okay? So then that calculates out to, I think I said that right, $2,400. So then I add $2,400 to my initial principal, which was $15,000. Then I divide by 24, which is how many months I'm paying, $725 a month. Okay, so it's pretty simple. I don't need you guys to go down to the $15,274.12. I just want you guys to give me $15,000 is how much it's going to be. You guys are going to determine if you're going to hire a worker, if you're going to run the stand by yourself, and then include your monthly salary. So depending on how many hours you're going to be open, how much you're going to work, how much is it actually going to cost to kind of pay you to work. Then you're going to calculate the food and supply cost for your business. So for instance, if I'm selling hot dogs, I'm going to look up how much are hot dogs from Sam's Club, how much are buns, how much is a pack of 24 chips and 24 sodas, and I'm going to break that down. How much does it actually cost to make a hot dog? I would encourage you guys to not go crazy with your offerings. So if you're a ramen stand, and if you have 25 different things on your menu, I would encourage you to maybe make it 3 things on your menu, so it's a little more easier to calculate this stuff. Again, I don't need you guys to get down to, okay, I'm going to put 1 ounce of this and then 1 ounce of this costs this. I need you to give me kind of an estimate of what it's going to cost. So use some research, use Sam's Club or Costco.com to kind of help you with this. But I want to have some idea of how much it costs for your food. Now you're going to determine your prices, right? So we had to do that with Kate at Coffee. So if it costs us 89 cents to make a hot chocolate, what's fair to offer in price? Meaning, how much are people willing to give up to give a hot chocolate, and how much are we willing to accept to part with those ingredients? So make it realistic, right? So I might say, wow, I really need to make a lot of money. I'm going to charge $18 for these hot dogs. Is anybody going to buy them? Probably not. So make it make sense for your business. The last part is your promotional concepts. You guys get to get so creative with this. You get to create your company name, logo, character symbol, which is basically the same thing as a logo. we have at least two forms of marketing. So is it a pamphlet, a flyer, a billboard? What are you going to do? You have to create that and put it into your presentation. You're going to create a social media campaign, and I want you guys to use the 4A's. So say like how we're going to get people's attention on social media is how we're going to build that relationship, that affinity. And you can talk about, you don't necessarily have to talk about acquisition, but you could. And then advocacy, are you going to do any campaigns like if people take a picture of you at the stand and tag you, are they entered to win a prize or something like that? If you need more information on that, go back to last week for our social media lesson. You're going to create your menu. So what you're going to actually like hang at your cart. So up here you have your prices and you created a sign, but maybe you want to have a menu. So if it has like, if I'm going to have the Springs Eats signature hot dog, what comes on that? Does it have ketchup, mustard, relish, what have you? You're going to create a jingle. So just a really quick snippet, doesn't need to be longer than like 15 seconds unless you want it to be. And then I want you to create 3 specials. So they could be tied to a sports team, to the weather, to the Olympics. If the Rockies win the next day, is it half off or something like that? You guys can get really creative with that. So lastly, you're going to have your presentation, and because of our constraints, kind of e-learning wise, I've just made this a really small percent of your guys' total score. So really, what I'm looking for is you can even record yourself looking at the screen, because of course I'll have your screen up, and you can just record me just selling me basically on your product, on your cart. So you're going to go through your slides, you're going to add some enthusiasm, maybe some more explanation about why you've done things, and you're going to upload that as well. So this is a really fun project. Like I said, we're going to break it up into this week what's due is general concepts. Next week is going to be pricing. The following week will be promotion. And then the 22nd, which is the last day to turn this in, you're going to have like your final draft where I showed you guys, instead of having just your plain general concepts, you're going to have like a really nice slide that's engaging, that has a lot of information on here. So, questions, thoughts, concerns, please reach out to me. I am here for you. I will also set up some office hours times where I'll do a Schoology conference or Microsoft Teams where you guys can pop on and chat with me to ask questions. But I think you guys are going to enjoy this. Like I said, you guys will have, specific timelines for turning this in. But if you want to get it done ahead of time and you feel like you're ready to go ahead and get started on your general concepts, your pricing, and promotional. Like I said, I'm here for you guys. Ask me lots of questions. All right. Talk to you soon.